believe there are two Fenicias.
Hello. Good evening. How are you all doing?
Good. Look at your hair is so good.
Oh, do you see it?
Yes.
I have eyebrows too.
Wow.
Yes.
Looking so good.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited.
We're really excited. Okay, so let's lead in. So we haven't done this in a while.
Yes.
Our last episode was actually 5 months ago with you, cousin Faneisha.
Wow. At the
I mean,
height.
you're the cousin.
Yes. At the height of my diagnosis.
So let me just do a little intro. We are still called Chicks No Dicks, much to the chagrin of my partner, Faneisha, who's also the cousin Faneisha. But here we are. We talk about what's going on in the world. We often talk about football, so we're gonna have to lead in with that. We've been on a little reprieve, and we have our wonderful guest, Faneisha Love, back amongst us. And so today we're going to spend some time talking about what's been going on for you, Fee.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure. Well, first things first, I am in remission. I don't know if you heard. Yes, don't know if you heard, but I'm in remission. I've been in remission technically since this past Thursday. So I'm
Wow.
really feeling good, really excited about it. And what remission means is that there's no evidence of cancer throughout my body any longer. And I am praying that it never, comes back. I think that's a lot of people who beat cancer. I think that's their fear, because it can happen and it's really common, especially if you have an aggressive form of breast cancer, which I have
Had.
Had.
had. Yes,
Yes,
I
had.
had.
Yes, had. Okay, so there's a lot to talk about. First of all, wow. I mean, both Phoenicia and I raised our hands in the air and we're silently cheering to not interrupt you. But I think we can take a moment and say, woo! What awesome news. Yeah, when Phoenicia sent me your text, I just was like, my brain and heart and whole body burst wide open. But before we get in to the remission and what you've been through and what you're thinking about and how we can support you, we have to go to football first because
Let's
that's housekeeping. It's our
Very
housekeeping.
true.
It starts this Thursday. By the
Yeah.
Yes.
time this episode airs, I'm sure the Eagles will have won their first football game.
Did you see they aren't coming out for the banner when they
No.
released it? The coach was like, we didn't know anything about that. We will not be on the field for it. And it's a big thing where everyone's saying like, oh no, they need to celebrate. But then everyone say like, we want to focus on this year. We won last year. We want to focus on this year.
Oh, interesting. So they were going to come out with their Super Bowl victory, and they're like, don't do that.
We didn't know anything about it, so we won't be out. Hopefully they
Okay.
change their minds. But yeah, they're like, no, we will not be out.
That's interesting. So how are you feeling about the Bills?
I'm very hopeful. And I told my friends this year I have a AFC t-shirt, the last AFC championship we won, which was in 1991. I have the t-shirt and I said, outside of this podcast, I will not be discussing anything about the bills. I'm not going back and forth for anyone. I'm only expressing myself with emojis because word carries power. And I don't want to put anything negative in the atmosphere. So until the outside of this podcast, until the day I am able to add another year to my shirt, I am not discussing anything about the Bills. I'm just going to let
Okay.
them stay. So I say that to say I feel very confident. I'm happy about our game this Sunday against Ravens. I feel like it's a home game. We have the home advantage. We have some healthy players, a really good roster, in depth. I feel confident this year. I genuinely do. So it's going to
Okay.
be a great year for us. Josh Allen, I think he was like the number three or the third player in NFL out of 100. So our quarterback is beefing up. Our quarterback is great. Our O line is amazing. We have some really great defense. So I'm really looking forward to it.
All
How do you feel
right.
about
Love it.
Seahawks?
I mean, I just have to ask cousin Phoenicia, Fee Love, have you even thought about football?
Yes, I'm really excited for the Bills, right? I feel like we're gonna have a really, really amazing, great season. I usually throw Super Bowl word out there, but I feel like we're getting all this viewership. We have a new show on HBO Max. I don't know if any of you seen the documentary that they're following the Bills, they're talking to the players, introducing the players. They seem really confident. Their home life seems great. It seems like we're just really, we have
Got
players
it.
that are really focused.
I love it. I am flatlined about the Seahawks, so that's all I have to say. It's a wait and see kind of year.
Yes.
So, but even more important than football, is there anything more important than football? Well, yes. Yes, there
Yeah.
is. It's being in remission.
Yeah.
So the last time we spoke, I'll just refresh.
Mhm.
You were in the midst of treatment. You two were together. Faneisha was visiting you in Miami. And for those of you who don't know, these two are cousins and they were born 1 month apart. And their godmother named them both Faneisha. I don't know how that happened. That's how did that happen?
Who knows?
Who
It's
knows?
it's Buffalo, New York.
It is.
Yeah, yeah, there's no such thing as too many Phoenicias in the world, clearly, in one family. So, but you were planning for a birthday party. Your birthday was June 21st. So you were like, I'm gonna have a birthday party on a yacht or a something or a this or a that. I don't think that happened exactly.
Yeah, I didn't have a party, but I was definitely on a yacht. And so I partied on a yacht and then I had a birthday dinner the day of my birthday. I actually ended up in the hospital due to complications with chemo treatment. So I spent the morning of my birthday in the hospital all the way until 8 p.m. that night. And then right after the ER, I got, some fluids, a blood transfusion, and then I was out the door and went to my birthday dinner.
That kind of attitude is amazing. So last time when we talked, that felt really important is we asked you what we could do to support you. And your words were, don't tell me what to do, don't tell me what to eat, and believe. And
Yes,
so
believe.
I know that I followed that prescription. Did you follow it, Faneisha?
No, it's called accountability. And I think, everybody holding her accountable, look at the result. But she did a great job on her own. So, but it was still accountability.
I think it's scary for people, not just the person that's experiencing it, but the people in their lives as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm.
tell us where you are now.
So right now I am, like I said, I am in remission. Of course, I do kind of have this strange, I don't want to call it anxiety because my goal is not to worry about it or not to think about it and make sure I'm putting it in God's hands. But there is, of course, this thought in the back of my mind like, wow, I did this and I've been through so much. And there's that thought, what if it happens again? And it's really scary and I'm in the process of still healing and moving forward with treatment because things don't end just because you're in remission. There's still treatment. I'll still be on chemotherapy until July of next year, but it's adjuvant therapy for chemo. So it's different than the more invasive chemotherapy that causes your hair to fall out and your scent to be different and things of that nature. So this one, it's targeted more towards the protein HER2, which is the type of cancer I have. It's targeted towards the protein HER2 to try and fight it from the inside so it doesn't reoccur. So the next phases of treatment is really to stop reoccurrence, and that involves radiation and to continue chemotherapy until next year.
And you had mentioned surgery, but is that in the future as well?
No, I did surgery.
Oh, you
I
did?
had yes, I had a lumpectomy. That is actually what cured me. That is why I am in remission. Chemotherapy wasn't as effective as it could have been towards my type of cancer. So now they know that I have more of a chemo-resistant cancer. The next step was to just go in and remove it, and they were able to remove it. I got a breast reduction, a lumpectomy, and I had a lymph node surgery, which has caused me limited mobility in my right arm. I'll be going to physical therapy for it. Just because I can't lift my arm above my head on the right side where I had the surgery. I can't rotate my arm certain ways. A yarn in the morning, it can like make me almost faint if I raise my arm, stretch it out too much.
Does
Uh,
that hurt? It hurts.
it hurts. It hurts. It hurts because there's a lot of scar tissue
Mhm.
and you have to heal, and it takes anywhere between 3 to 6 months to heal. So this is a long healing journey.
Yeah.
I haven't worked or anything. Beforehand I was working more on a part-time basis, so now I haven't worked at all just because I could barely move my arm in the beginning, but now I feel stronger. I'm getting better. I'm wearing a compression bra, so to it assists with the healing, the scarring, and the wounds that I do have. And it's definitely a journey. So I'm just trying to remain positive about it and just keep looking forward to what's next and having it in my mind that this will never return.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm curious, yes, while you were going through this, I definitely had moments of feeling afraid for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I would counter those with, what you asked for, which was to be positive. When I saw that you were in remission last Thursday, I no longer felt that fear for you. You know,
Yes.
I think the fear is mostly, I don't want you to suffer. That's the feeling I have in that, not, it's not a doomsday fear. It's more of a desire to be able to hold space and hold you close so that you're not feeling alone or feeling afraid or not sleeping or whatever can come. And also the
Yeah.
chemotherapy is brutal. I would I would like to say one thing that I listened to this morning that I thought was really interesting about the brain. And then I think it would be amazing if you could help guide us to help continue supporting you in your healing journey. Like you haven't worked, do you need support in that way? But first I'll share. I love Wayne Dyer. He's no longer in in on the physical earth, but I listen to him all the time. So it's like he's still around. He was one of the founding fathers of the self-development movement. He was a therapist. Had a show on PBS in the 70s. He's written like 45 self-development books. He was an entire industry in and of himself. I've been listening to this book of his called Wishes Fulfilled. I love everything he does. It's a little dated at times. There's subtle misogyny, which was a sign of the times. I've heard him say some things that wouldn't fly today. I also wonder if maybe he'd be QAnon and an anti-vaxxer. I mean, what would he have become in these times now? Who knows? But
Right.
he said this thing in this book, Wishes Fulfilled, that I thought was really interesting. The brain never stops chattering. Like we
Yeah.
can't actually silence our brain. It just is constantly going. And sometimes it's telling us garbage. Sometimes it's freaking us out. It's making us afraid. It's making us doubt. It's self loathing. It's doing all these weird things. And what he's saying is just be in awareness of what's in the carousel and then just switch to the next thought. Oh,
Mm.
fear, fear, you're in the carousel. I got to switch to the next thought.
That's
I
good.
completely agree. A lot of people ask me, how did you make it through? Were your thoughts throughout this process, throughout this journey? I'm a part of breast cancer support teams. A lot of them reach out to me. They send me different encouraging communication. And I think that is the most important thing when you're going through this journey and you're dealing with this, is keeping your mind focused on positive thoughts. Keep your mind focused on what you plan to do in the future. Don't think about anything that's kind of affecting you now. Don't
Yeah.
worry. I know it sounds crazy, but even when I said don't worry about work, it was one of my biggest things. Like, oh my God, I am not going to work. I feel like I'm missing out. I feel like I'm letting my team down by not being available. It's like I bills don't stop, and it's like, what am I gonna do? Like, yeah, and when I tell you, I just stopped thinking about it. I stopped worrying about it. I stopped stressing about those things. And I put it in my mind that God will always provide for me. Um, After surgery, one of my biggest fears was what what if my arm, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
No,
Um,
it's okay, please.
Hmm.
I mean, they're
um,
just feeling it, feeling
I
it.
didn't I didn't say it out loud, but one of my biggest fears was, what if my arm doesn't go back to full mobility? Because I was informed that is a possibility, because when they do the surgery for the lymph nodes and your breast surgery, they damage your nerves, and they have special surgeons, and they're able to put them back intact for you, so you can have full mobility in your fingers and your arms, your elbow, things like that. And some people, they always experience a numbness or a tingling, or they never get full rotation in their arm. And I tried not to say it out loud, or I tried not to think about it. But when you feel it, or you can't, reach your back or things like that, you worry, what if it never comes back? And though I never said it, and I always try to be positive, one of the individuals from my breast cancer support group, we follow each other on social media, and she reached out to me, just congratulating me on my surgery and things like that. And she said, I don't know if you're experiencing nerve damage in your arm or if you have any pain, but when I first got my surgery, I felt like my arm would never, go back to normal. She said, it's been 2 years. I have full range, full mobility. I'm working full time. And I just want you to know, if you are feeling any of that, it'll go away. And I just cried so hard, because I was like, how did she, like, she knew, she knew what I was feeling. She knew what I was thinking. And in that moment, even through all the positivity, sometimes it feels good to hear positive stories from people who share your same experience, because one thing about not having full access to your arm, there's things you think about, like, am I going to be able to swim again? You know, if I travel, can I swim? When you're driving, I'm afraid if someone ever hits me, it's like, I only got one good arm. What if they hit me on the driver's side, and I damage my left arm? Then what? So some of those worries come up. But when you hear positive stories, it really motivates you to get that out of your brain and to get that out of your mind, especially when you're hitting checkpoints and crossing your accomplishments as far as your treatment off the list. I started journaling when I first got diagnosed. And the way I feel now compared to when I first started journaling is a complete 360. And when I began journaling, I was a lot sicker. Um, I was in and out of the hospital a lot more. I didn't really feel confident, just because of the type of cancer that I had and the things that I read about it. And now, uh, I would say it's technically 8 months later, I feel nothing like how I felt before. I don't feel any of that anxiety as far as what if it doesn't go away? What if it doesn't go away, right? Because I've already beat that. It's went away. So I know it's curable, you know, so I can't think about the next go round. I need to finish what I have going on now and keeping my mind prepared because your mind is your biggest asset as far as if you need anything in this world. So my mind, my faith, and I feel I've been in my Bible more than ever. So it's a really great feeling.
Yeah, and I would like to add to that. I would like to commend her because, it's one thing when people say these things, and it's a completely different thing when people actually do them. Like we'll say to Phoenicia, like, Phoenicia, you aren't thinking about this. And she'll tell us, I cannot think about that right now. I cannot give, and it's the truth, really. And it's like, we used to like, this girl's crazy. But one thing I said to my other cousin, I said, and this our other god sister, I said, Phoenicia's gonna beat this. She's too crazy not to. Like, the girl have a mind like half of the time it's like we don't know what she's thinking about. She's on a different planet, a different level, the way that she's thinking. But I should say she's too crazy not to beat it. Because it really is all in your mind. And I could see just like from her experience and her journey, like she told herself, I'm going to be fine. I'm still going to do this. I'm still going to do that. I'm not going to allow anything to stop me. It's all up in here. It's how I feel, it's how I believe, how I conduct myself, and just believing and leaning on God. It's like, well, Phoenicia, how are you going to pay for this? It will happen. Well, Phoenicia, if you do this, this may happen. It won't. I'm telling you, like, I got this. And we just look at her like, you know what? Got to the point, it's like, let her be. She knows what she's doing. The girl's crazy. Let her be crazy, and it worked for her. Like it worked for
I
her.
mean, the thing is you hear these stories. Like, when you're speaking, I'm thinking about this guy, Joe Dispenza, who's made a whole life in the healing industry because he was in this crazy, crazy bike accident where he was hit by a car and he was basically not supposed to live, not supposed to walk, not supposed to, like, all the not supposed tos. He just used his brain power to heal. And yeah, I mean, you have to have faith to believe that it's going to work out. And you do hear stories of, like, I mean, if faith is a choice, why not choose it?
Yeah.
It is a choice.
Mhm.
Like, we can either believe or not believe. I've always struggled with faith, but why? Why am I allowing my brain to struggle with faith? Why am
Yeah.
I not just being like, you know what? I'm well, I'm loved, I'm beloved, all good things are coming for me, with me, from me. The universe has me. I mean, God to me is more of an elusive character, but universe, source, great spirit, that word I resonate, whatever, who cares? Doesn't even
Yeah.
matter, right? But it's that faith. And so that's carried you. Tell us
Yes.
about it. Like, how do we get that?
It's funny you said that, right? I I was seeing someone and they expressed to me reluctantly that they were an atheist. And I've never really met one before. And we had a discussion about God and the world and life and death. And I said, well, have you ever considered, even if you don't believe in a worldly figure, even if you don't believe in a spiritual figure, have you ever felt maybe that God that everyone is talking about and discussing, that it is you, that it is you and that it is in you, and we are our own gods, and the things that we think create this world and create this life that we want, and the Bible is our guideline on how we can have these positive thoughts or how we can review some people's experiences throughout this life journey before us, and how we can prevent ourselves from making certain mistakes or following a righteous path so we can have a righteous mind, because that's really the key to making sure that we're speaking positivity and blessings over our life. So if the God is in me and I have the power to create the life that I want, right? Or the things that I want or see for myself, why not put it in my brain? You know, why not talk to the God in me, letting the God in me know the things that I want and the things that I foresee, and that's power. And we all have power, but it's how we choose to use it. So if we have a negative thought process and everything we think is negative and everything we do is negative, where we do bad things to people, and we have this ideal concept of karma, why not put positive karma in our brain? Why not put righteousness in our brain? And that's how I think about it, because there is a God in all of us. And when it comes to positive thinking, I do have an understanding that I don't have what you would call a normal brain. I I can understand that sometimes my delusion comes off as crazy, but for me, it's not crazy because I've 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 accomplished things with this delusion, and I have moved mountains with delusion, and maybe the key to everything that we want in life, or unlocking greatness, is having a little bit of delusion. Because I could have said, after they let me know chemo isn't working, like, oh, this is it, you know this is it. I don't know. Chemo doesn't work. What are my options? So I just feel like, all right, well, if chemo didn't work, it was just God wanted me to experience what chemo felt like, in case someone else had to go through this, or in case I know someone else who feel or find out that their cancer is resistant to chemotherapy. There's other options. There's more ways to fight, and at least you experienced it, and so you can let the next person know that they can get through it because you did. And it's so important to make sure that you're speaking life into you and over your situation. And yeah, in the beginning it's hard. So go through your stages, go through your grief, go through your fear, go through your anxiety, play out every worst case scenario in your head, but don't dwell on it. You cut it off. You think it, you thought it, let it go, move forward. And that's how I got through this, and that's how I get through everything. A little bit of delusion mixed with positive reinforcements to my brain.
Right. So I that was like so inspiring. It deserves applause. I'm curious. I'm stuck on the word delusion in this weird way. Like, I'm
Hmm.
like, is it delusional or is it an illusion? Like, are you visualizing, like, were you visualizing yourself cancer free? Because it's not a delusion to be cancer
Hmm.
free, but it
Right.
could be at the time it's an illusion. Like, it's something that seems far-fetched, but it's not. Like, I feel like I want to look up the words and see.
I'm looking up delusion now.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
it's fair to say, and we have to stop calling ourselves delusional.
yeah,
Because a delusional person believes that things couldn't possibly be true. So if you're convinced that the microwave is attempting to control your thoughts, you're sadly delusional, right? So to your point, Janessa, then right, you have to visualize as the illusion you create in your mind is creating
Yes.
this illusion, is creating beyond your reality of what things currently are. And that's the faith. You foreseeing these things and you're manifesting these things and you're believing in these things and eventually they become true. And if you keep going after, keep doing it, like she said, after the treatment, okay, fine, this treatment didn't work. Something else is going to work. I'm going to create this illusion. I'm going to create something else. I went through the chemotherapy. I got through it. I thought it was going to work. However, it didn't. But my mind and my faith is telling me that I am going to beat this. So guess what? Now I have to create the next reality. And that's the surgery. Oh, okay. Something else happened after surgery. Radiation. Something happened after radiation. Okay, then I'm gonna have to keep going until I don't go any longer. Who knows how long that would be, but I'm going to keep creating that reality until I get the results that I want, until it's the end of a time. And it's just that simple. And I think that's what she's saying. I think it's amazing. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like thinking your football team's going to win.
Absolutely. Until I put that until
Yes.
I mean, the only difference is that you're on a different field. You were
Yeah.
in a different playing field that you actually also did not have much control over because you were trusting the doctors, you were trusting the process, you were trusting the surgeons. Now you are putting your trust in the fact that you will heal. You will heal so that you can, do so you can go swimming.
Yes.
Like next time we do this, we should meet for a swimming party.
Yes. And
So
that's important. That's important to me. You know, I like to travel. I like to travel the world. I like to jump in the water.
yeah,
Yeah, I want to scuba dive. You know, I've been scuba diving. Like, it's stuff like that is important to me because it's a part of living my life and doing the things that I wasn't raised to believe I can do. I want to
yeah,
go places where I know that my parents or anyone in my family has ever been, right?
yeah,
It was always, I've always been a little mentally unique as far as thinking that I can do things or thinking that I can be what I want to be. And so I have those thoughts, and I want to go swimming in Dubai. And, and no one in my family, you know, my immediate family has been to Dubai. And it seems so small to some, but it's a big deal to me. And I'm not letting cancer or anything, you know, ruin those plans for me because it's happening. I'm
yeah.
going go-kart racing in Japan on the streets. So
Get
I
it.
need
Yeah,
to make sure my arm is in tip-top shape for that.
that's right. And it's interesting. I think the important thing about what you're saying, look, you've just gone through something that God willing, we don't all go through because it's so intense and hard. And we're having this conversation with you as a source of two things. Probably one is inspiration to other people, inspiration to ourselves, a reminder of how to live, and also to create a container of love for you so that you feel that you're lifted and supported, and so that you can then be a container of love for others. And we're just rippling it out. But one of the things you just said that I think is really critically important is that, you have a mind that's allowing you to think, to dream and be bigger than what you've known, than what the people were where you came from. I think your cousin Faneisha also possesses that in her dreaming, her desire, her entrepreneurship desires, her ability to make things happen and to be just super focused and clear and crisp. And then, I think about myself, and I'm much older than both of you, and I have also had dreams that I've squashed because I've gotten afraid,
Yeah.
because I told the wrong person and they've told me it's not possible, because I wanted to please somebody else. Like I was just, before you got on the line, Fee Love, we were talking about um, the work I've been doing and a new idea that I'm having. And I've had this idea, it will come back and come back. Like as one of my spiritual teachers said, it's our lesson to learn until we learn it.
Yeah.
And one of the things listening to you is that I think that right now you are in a position to be a great teacher because you've just taken yourself out of the belly of the beast. And with that, what do you want to do to support others, and what do you need to be supported?
Well, for one, I want to tell my experience because I know being in this position that sometimes you want to speak to someone who's been through what you've been through, who can give you firsthand knowledge and experience, and who can encourage you because they've seen the things you've seen. And I'm glad that God chose me to be one of those firsthand people because at first I'm like, why? But for me to be as outgoing and talkative as I am, maybe that's why, because God wanted me to have a story to tell and have a testimony to be able to give to others. So that's one. And two, I believe I had this so that I can remember to always believe in myself, live my life, and always do what I want to do because we don't know how much time we have here on this earth. One of those things that I'd say I've been holding off forever. I want to be a mom. And I don't even think I thought about this until I got cancer or had cancer. Like, wow, that could have not been an option for me, you know? And I don't think I want to wait for the things that I used to want to wait for. No, I can do it. It's one of my goals, and I'm going to do it. I want to do it, and I want to live life unapologetically how I want. And I want to tell other people that live unapologetically however you want. Do what you see fit for your life, because this position that you can be put in, it means nothing. And I was reading the Bible in Ecclesiastes. I don't exactly know what verse or what chapter, but the king was speaking and saying how nothing is worth anything. And the most important thing on this earth and in this life is to be happy, is to find happiness with what you have and who you are, and have peace with that, because riches don't matter. You know, your family, you can't live for them. You have to live for you, and nothing matters. So while you're here, everything is the wind. You go with the wind, and you just find the right breeze for you.
Mm.
That's good. Now, how would you like to be supported? How can we support you?
Well, Faneisha, get a ticket to Japan so we
Oh,
can
I'm definitely,
go kart, Mario go kart racing.
and that's we're just
Mario,
gonna have two separate rooms though.
yes, okay, that's fine. And if
I
there's
might have to come to Japan too, by the way.
Oh
yes,
yes, maybe we could plan a trip to Japan.
yes, that's my goal. That's literally my goal. It sounds crazy for that to be a goal, but it's just it's what I want to do. And I want to live and do those things. And also I would like to be a part of speaking engagements. I want to do breast cancer benefits where I can have speakers and I can provide information. I'm having a survivors party in October. I have a GoFundMe where I started and people can donate to my GoFundMe. But at my survivors party, I want to create, brochures and breast cancer information, how people can do testing for breast cancer. You can just do your self breast exam. There's a lot of people who don't even consider or even think to check. Some people feel like they're too young. I want people to know that you're not too young. You're not too young to keep up with your health and to track your health. I want to encourage women to go to the doctors. I know that a lot of African American women, they have a mistrust for physicians and things of that nature. And I completely understand it, but you need to find somebody that's comfortable for you and make sure we're getting our tests and our exam and we're checking on ourselves. If anything doesn't seem right or feel right, advocate for ourselves. That's another thing that was really important for me. I wasn't necessarily believed when I was going to the doctors and talking about my lump and saying what I think, and everyone's telling me I should just disregard it. I'm too young. I have no family history. And if I would have listened, if I wasn't like a spoiled little brat, right, as some like to say, or if I wasn't pushy, I wouldn't have caught it. I would have been stage 4. I found it at stage 3. So if I would have found it at stage 4, that would have considered me incurable, and we'd be having a completely different conversation. So I just want to encourage women to advocate for themselves. So if there's any time or an engagement that I can speak, let me know. I want to. And I just want to find a way to be more active in any type of cancer research that I can be active in. So if anybody wants to support me, that's a great way that you can assist me with doing that. And, if anyone's ever looking for a speaker, let them know I'm available. So,
So here's what I'm visualizing. Okay, so we need to know what your GoFundMe is. We'll put that in the show notes so that
okay.
it support you. But this is my visualization for you. That you continue to be cancer free, which is the most important thing. I see you that way. I know Faneisha sees you that way. We will continue holding that and spreading that. The B, I feel like the next piece of your life, of your paid career, making a living worth living, as my wife likes to say, life is that you are actually part of an organization that pays you to go do trainings, to do self-advocacy, be on the speaking tours. I see you on a stage speaking, maybe doing a TED Talk, maybe doing, something with the moth, radio hour, maybe. But again, what we can do is that, we want to bring this to life. That's part of our work here together as a collective, is to bring your vision to life, my vision to life, Fenicia's vision to life, that we do that together. So we're going to help you get to that place. If we're going to help us all get to the place. But I do see a lot of opportunities here for you, and I'm going to we'll have a separate conversation offline about how to get to the next place so that you can have that as part of your healing journey, and as the journey that you're going to allow others to heal with as well.
That's beautiful. I think that's amazing. And advocacy is so important. Like I said, I really had to like join the TikTok community, to look for different Facebook groups to be part of, because you need it. You need it when you first get diagnosed.
And I'll just say one last thing. I always have one last thing. That's what my wife is like, your show should be called One Last Thing. I'll just say
And another thing.
another thing is that, you wrote these journal entries. I wonder if that is your book. Because often to be speaking, people want a book with it, but maybe that is your book, like How I Healed. Oh, I love that title, actually. I just
I
love
would
it.
love to. I think I would do like a comparison, because I stopped writing in my journal because I felt like it was so dark. It was so dark. It was so sad. It was so depressing. It felt so hopeless, and that's how my entries started. And I even wrote, like, I'm not writing anymore. I don't think it's helping. I feel awful. And I just, I don't know if I'm going to make it. And so I started recording videos of myself, and even in my phone, where I'm crying, and I've never shown anybody or let anyone see, or told anybody, but I was just recording these videos to just let it out, like how I was saying, like, get it out, let it out. Even even now, I'm looking back and I look at those entries like, wow, I was hurting. I was really hurting, and I feel good now. And of course, I'm not perfect. There's things that I miss. It sounds horrible, but I miss drinking. I have a bar at my house, and it's like I can't touch it, but I miss it. I miss being social, and having a lemon drop and things like that. And sometimes I can be in spaces and it makes me feel awkward where everyone else is and I'm not. And I'm like, you know what? Like, girl, you beat cancer. So what? Just let it go. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Just continue to be confident and feel like yourself, you know, because in the beginning, I don't think I even cared enough, where it's like, I have to have a drink. Going through what I'm going through now, I need a drink. so, so, so to be able to look back at those old entries and the new, and it's like, I'm feeling so different now.
You're amazing.
Comparison, yeah, would be great, to be honest with you. Because it's
Yeah.
real and people need to see that. And I think that's one thing that pushed you forward, because we can only help you but so much. And
Mm-hmm.
we all, Genessa, was tired of Fenecia. Every last one of us. We just can't take it. Like we were all tired of her. But she pulled additional strength from support groups and things like that. So I think, you know, especially for someone, because as we see and as you educated us last time, that, women who's getting breast cancer or being diagnosed with breast cancer, it's starting at a alarming young age. And, imagine them without life experience. And just to give Fenecia background, Fenecia had a lot of life experience, to push her through and keep her moving. So she also mustered up that strength from things that she'd been through to bring her where she was. And I think she saw how she was able to climb through life and get through life and move to the next level, a new stage of life. And that's what also pushed her through as well. But think about these young girls who don't have that life experience and who don't even understand how to move past getting up past a breakup. You know what I mean? Who really fall apart from a breakup, let alone breast cancer. So I think that would be great to have that comparison of what you were feeling, to validate their feeling and also help them understand, like, this, there is another side to this. So yes, I think
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It's also perception.
Yeah.
Perception is really important. I met a girl at the hospital last week, the day that I found out I was in remission. and her spirit, it was drowning. It was a bit depressing. And we go to the same hospitals, and she was just saying how she hated her doctor, she hated the nurse, she hated her experience, she hated her new breasts, she hated every single thing. And I just was like, I loved everything. I loved my doctors. I love their responses. I love how they helped me. I love going through the surgery process and seeing how my body has changed. I love that I have time to heal, and it was just like, wow, like, and she's been in remission for 3 years, and she tried to tell me, like, don't do radiation, don't get a surgery, things of that nature. And it's like, girl, I just got surgery. Don't tell, and I have to get radiation. Don't tell people things like that. Don't tell people not to do certain things, part of their treatment, because your thought process around everything is negative.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
if I was weak-minded, I would have been like, oh my God, she had such a horrible experience. And I don't know if I want to do it. And it's like, no, her experience isn't my experience. And with people like her, I feel like she kind of expressed to me she had no support at all. And for people like that, you needed it. You needed support.
Right.
You needed to talk to somebody. You needed a group. You needed an advocate. You needed help. And I've been, just sending her positive quotes, things of that nature. But I can only imagine if people don't have anything or anyone. Your thought process around everything is different. And that's when negative things start to happen, because you're already thinking negative.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to wrap this up with, a round robin of what we wish for you and what we wish for ourselves in the manifestation. So for you, I wish you cancer-free and this amazing next chapter of healing others.
Thank you.
And for you, cousin Fenecia, other cousin Fenecia, I wish for Fenecia, I wish for you a manifestation of your dreams, and for you to be seen as the powerhouse that you already are. As my therapist has said about herself, and I say, I remind myself of these words as well. You are more powerful than you even know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And for me, I wish myself what I had a birthday in the end of July, and I said, this is my year of courage. I'm a Leo. I cannot be a cowardly lion. I have to be a courageous lioness. And I just wish to continue on my path and not have the fear be in the driver's seat.
I wish you faith and fearlessness.
Me too.
Yes.
Keep going, Genessa. You're doing great.
So much love to you both.
Thank